any way you cut it, if there's a Yankee fan out there that, is just walking around saying, we're good. Opening day, 10 days from now, we're fine. Judge or rake. What are you watching?
Right.
I mean, Aaron Judge hasn't done anything this spring.
And everybody's trying to make it like it's nothing. No, it's something. Nothing would be nothing. This is something because he hasn't played. He's not able to swing. And just see when he does. If he does, in fact, get in there tomorrow, he's got to swing still. And then he could feel something else. That's the nervousness. And I'll take it a step further, BT. Now, let me be clear for you knuckleheads who can't understand or don't listen to what I'm saying and just hear what you want to hear. I love Aaron Judge as a player. Nobody would ever dispute his production. Clearly, he could handle this market. The guy literally broke a record here a couple of seasons ago. He is one of the best players, undoubtedly, in the sport.
Yep.
However, 9 years, $360 million. We're just getting going here. This is now year 2 of that extension of the mega deal for Aaron Judge. Year 2, where year 1 he played 106 games, and because of his injury, while it may be fluky or not with the toe, hurt the team because he wasn't able to go out there for 150-plus games, where the year before he played 157, and you saw the difference in the record that he broke. Again, going into opening day, he's got issues that don't even have anything to do with the toe that he's going to have to maintain. By their word, they said he's going to have to maintain that. Buyer's remorse here, potentially. I mean, I'd be worried about that contract long term. Everybody talks about Francisco Lindor's contract, how that's going to age, what potentially Pete Alonso's contract could look like. Hey, we're living in it with Aaron Judge right now, a guy who's been often hurt, a guy who just got paid mega dollars, and already after one season didn't live up to that contract, and now year 2, some question marks in spring due to spring beat up, whatever the hell that means.
If I wouldn't say I'm worried about it, but to say that it's not on my mind, well, I think would be naive. I got you. I mean, he is. He's in his 30s. I'll tell you this.
31, dude. You got 7 more years after this year.
I know. I think what they're going to have to do, not now, obviously, but if you recall early in the spring, I think he did it last year for a second as well. He was messing around with some ground balls at first base. To squeeze every ounce of water from this rock and to maximize that return, I think you're going to have to really accelerate his move to first base. I don't even need to really get into that today, but I think you're going to see a situation where hopefully it's Soto, it's Dominguez, and it's Spencer Jones moving forward for the next however many years, and Aaron Judge at first base. Because you're right. Even though I'm not gonna overreact to the contract now, although 9 years is obviously steep.
It's gonna be 32 in April.
I know. Now you bring in the Lindor thing. The difference with Lindor now, first of all, Lindor's always healthy, so that's
right.
Pro Lindor. But if you're an aging middle of the diamond player, there's really nowhere to go, although you could jump over to second base.
But the Yankees got Judge in center field.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I'm just saying.
I'm not even sure if I'd keep him in right field a whole lot longer. Right? I think you're going to have to make a move to first base, which is what I'm saying. It's a long contract, but I think if you get too wrapped up into that, just like when we'll see whatever Pete Alonso gets in terms of years, we'll have the same thoughts going into it and obviously reacting to it if he stays. I'm just worried about this season. Like, I think it is, talk about naive, You asked me a while ago, I thought the Yankees were going to be the best team in the American League. I said give them 95 wins and obviously on the short list to get to the World Series. I'm just trying to get out of April. Who's batting leadoff?
How about getting out of March?
Well,
I mean, think about what's going on. Right, no leadoff hitter anymore.
DJ's hurt again.
Another one who's always hurt, old, big, kind of slow.
Yep,
that big body.
Creaky.
He hasn't been the same in years.
Yep.
Not months, not weeks, years. So that's an issue. You talk about Garrett Cole. Nothing you can do about that. It happens. Fortunately, it's only 2 months, but it is 2 months. That's a big deal. And with Judge, they're trying to minimize it. Problem is, it's always something. And with them, it's starting to pile up already. We're not even at the week of opening day.
And you didn't even mention Stanton. Who, again, he's a guy that you get anything from him this year. I think you're just thrilled. And who knows? We'll see what the change in body does for him.
But it all goes around Judge, BT. I know
no doubt.
I know they brought in Soto, and that's a different layer to the conversation that we could discuss later on. But it's about Aaron Judge, and Judge is going to turn 32 next month in year 2 of a 9-year, $360 million deal. After year 1, I don't know if I would call it an abject failure because when he played, he produced.
I definitely wouldn't call it that.
Yeah, but he only played 100 games. Like, you wouldn't sign him for 9 years, $360 million, knowing he'd play 100 games or just over 100 games in the first year of that. You could say the last 2 or 3 years, maybe he's going to be banged up, miss some time. The first year of that, he's going to be 32 going into year 2. He's already banged up before opening day.
I know. They listen. This is. This is something that we knew was going to come on our radar. I don't know if we thought it would be this early, but, it's very easy to forget or misremember, even though you just pointed things out, his injury history. I mean, I remember having conversations before he actually got the big contract. Should they do it?
Right.
And
a lot of fans.
And we all did.
Surprisingly so. I remember taking a lot of calls in the office. They're like, he's not worth it. I'm like, are you insane? You got to pay him. Now, there is a difference between the Yankees having to bring him back and him living up to the contract.
Yeah.
So far, in my mind, he is not. As a player, yes, but part of that is you got to play games. I mean, he played 157, the most in his career, in his free agent walk year. Now, 106 games, already issues. I mean, if you had to put the over-under on total games played for Judge going into this year, what are you putting it at? What would you be happy with?
That's a better question. What would I put it at, or what would I sign up for now?
Sign up
Based on this, listen, they can keep using the word abdomen. It's oblique.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Which is a problem.
Which is a big issue. We talked about this before the show. When you have the oblique issue, you can think that you're healthy. You can, roll over in the middle of the night or exhale deeply. 'Cause I had that. I remember I got hurt playing golf. I'm not comparing myself to Judge, please. But it's like the one thing you can't guard against. If it's a hamstring or a quad or tendonitis in the Achilles like Hartenstein, just lay off of it. Rest it for a little bit, but you have to breathe. And breathing patterns are not always normalized. You have a bad dream, you jump up in the middle of the night. I mean, trust me, it happens. So I think that I would say right now, what would I sign up for? Oh my God, I'd probably sign up for 135 games.
Right, which I knew that was going to be the number, roughly 130, which is incredible. The 2 years before last season, he played 148 and 157. You'd take easily 150 a year from him.
150,
you'd probably take 140 easily, and even you now are lowering it to 130. Think about that. Now,
135 because of the injury now. Now, if he was healthy now, I wouldn't be saying 135.
What would you say, 140?
I'd say 140, 142.
Now, the thing that is in favor of Judge, even if he plays 135 games,
he's going to hit 35, 40 home runs.
He might hit more. He hit 106. He had 37 homers in 106 games last year.
I know.
So think about that. I mean, that is, guy's a beast.
Well,
he's
that's
an
why
animal.
he got the contract, and that's why he is who he is. But it's a confounding. Well, it's no longer confounding. Now it could just be frustrating. Confounding is when you don't know what to do. Confounding was a year or two ago when the Yankees were sorting through this contract. Right now, they went through it. He crushed it in his walk year. Yankees were pinched in the corner. Yankees had to spend. Fans were yelling and screaming. Judge is a high-character guy. He's a great player, but he's a flawed one. And right now, if you're not worried about Judge going into tomorrow and he's going to try to play, even if he comes out tomorrow and he does play unscathed, how are you not worried about the next game? How are you not worried about early April games when it's 44 degrees out and raw and he's playing center field because you have other – I mean, it's a problem. It is a problem. And it's not a massive problem yet, but it could become one. 877-337-6666, PT and Sal on the Fan. You feel sick today, by the way?
I feel like I'm not 100%.
Me too. A little
Been
bit.
waking up a little bit with the sore
throat a little bit, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, me too. All right, we are
bringing your sickness over to this
Well,
side
how
of
do
the
you know?
table.
Maybe you brought it to me. I don't know. We both have kids. They're always sick. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair reminds you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Let's get to you. We got a Judge issue. Greg's in Rahway. BT and Sal on the Fan. What's going on, Greg?
Good morning, guys.
Hello.
I think I'll do a little Sal on you. I'm sick and tired of these guys getting paid big money, free agency, and all this other crap, and they can't perform on the field. What the hell's the matter with everybody? The fans are fools now.
Now, just try elevating your voice a little bit and maybe a little more.
Sounds like
edge
Dan
to it.
Aykroyd. Like he's got a
You can't
Chicago
hear me?
accent.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, come on, Greg, turn it up a little bit. Get on him.
All right. The players stink now.
Yeah, Greg.
That money
man.
stinks. I'm 77. I got to sit here and try to earn a lousy few bucks for myself. My wife's in a friggin' food line trying to get money. Trying to get food.
Well, tell me
I'm
about
going
it.
to fall from my ass. I know. You don't want to hear.
I'm going to be out there pretty soon.
You
I
got
know
me
that.
fired up when you start the station today.
Well,
I'm sitting here enjoying it, and then BT, you pissed me off now.
Well, I mean, it certainly wasn't my intention, Greg. You sound like a good stand-up
No, you
American.
put a fire, but these guys are overpaid for years. What the hell's going on?
Well,
got
you
half
know
this
what's
country
going on.
Can't afford nothing.
Well, Greg, the world's changed, Greg.
That's a
I
different
get it.
conversation.
It's totally a different conversation. I mean, no, it's not 53 where you have Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle cutting down Christmas trees during the offseason or holding bags of sugar to supplement their income, which is what Major League stars used to do back then. They're incredibly, exorbitantly paid. And they should be.
It's the opposite in our business.
Well,
back then, guys are making.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing all right.
That would be, you and I be selling Christmas trees coming up.
That happens. I find a new job. No, I really would.
No, but it's not about how much money somebody's making. It's about relative to baseball. Is Judge worth that contract?
It's about availability because we know he's worth it if he's available.
Production-wise.
That's indisputable.
Yeah, but I feel like I've been saying the same thing for, since Judge's been in the league in 2017.
Yeah.
Where it's never been about, because usually other players, it could be, even with Alonso, for example, production was an issue last year. It wasn't health for him.
Mm-hmm.
Usually he's durable. That's one of the great things about Pete. He posts, but the production comes and goes. You could pick on Lindor, whoever, pick all players. Stanton, production has come and gone. Judge, production has never been the issue outside of the postseason, smaller sample size.
Yep.
But production is never the issue. It's just about health with him. And you have to wonder, he's only going to get older. He's only going to get, at some point, slower, and things will be more difficult to recover from. The idea of having him in center field to begin with 2 years ago didn't make sense to me. Now, 32 years of age, already coming off an injury-plagued season last year?
I'm serious. He's going to be playing first base soon, especially if Jones is the real deal and Jason Dominguez is the real deal. You can justify it. And for sure, if Soto stays, so I think that's going to have to be in his fairly short-term future. That's not the point today. The point today is you should be worried about Judge being there on opening day and playing a lot this year. I mean, it seems like it's just, back to the broken record. We love him, but he's always hurt. Andrew's in Shirley, New York. BT and Sal, what's going on, Andrew? How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with the whole Judge thing, this is coming from a Met fan, but as a baseball fan, it's so crazy that we can see these contracts, and let's say it is as bad as we say. This year is going to be an injury-plagued season, and it only gets worse as he gets older. Baseball's not going to learn their lesson with these contracts. We haven't yet, dating back to Pujols.
I disagree. Hold on, Andrew. I'll let you finish. I disagree. I think we've already seen a serious recalibration of the market. First of all, and we'll get to Blake Snell. Blake Snell got a 2-year deal. Jordan Montgomery hasn't gotten a deal yet. Let's see what happens with Pete Alonso when Pete Alonso gets his deal. Pete Alonso's not getting 9 years. Pete Alonso ain't getting 8. He might get 7 from the Mets based on the hometown thing and 500 bombs and that appeal. He's not getting 7 from anybody else, I don't think. It's changed already.
None of those contracts.
Except for Soto.
None of those contracts make sense. Otani is going to be a disaster eventually.
Yep.
Yamamoto's going to be a disaster eventually, if not immediately.
He got roped this spring, but still.
But that's the thing. I think that with as many examples, and I don't know if Blake Snell and Montgomery can be used as shining, but as many examples as you might be able to put forth for the top guy, there's been just as many double-digit, year contracts have been given out in the last 3 years. Even this past year, like you said, Yamamoto, you had Trey Turner, you have Juan Soto's going to get paid for 15 years. And we don't know what Pete Alonso's going to be. It's not going to be double digits, but we don't know where it's going to end up landing, especially if it's the Mets. My bottom line is, whatever team ends up pulling that trigger, there's kind of this sense of, all right, I got this guy for 10 years. And for whatever weird reason, there's a sense of, well, again, he's going to be on the roster. Like Aaron Judge is a MVP caliber guy. He's going to be on the roster for a long time. That does not mean you can't go all in right then and there, especially at his age, and now you're proving it. Even in year 1 or year 2 on this decade-long contract, it's even more paramount to take advantage of this prime year.
Yes.
Even though he's got 8 more.
Yes.
To go all in.
Yes. I have said this forever. Every time you talk about the future, the short-term future of the Yankees, I've always said you've got a little window with Judge, got a little window with Cole. This is before Cole got hurt and before Cole and Judge got hurt again. I've always said that. For certain teams.
But they've already maybe missed that.
Well, but that's why I'm not enthralled with their offseason.
Last year,
I thought they'd go all in, and I've changed. They've gone short of all in.
Right.
I admit that.
Right. They did not go all the way in.
I thought they would.
But even if they did, Cole still got hurt and is going to miss 2 months, and Judge is still dealing with whatever it is that he's dealing with.
But but I couldn't fault them then because you don't know. Say if they would have gotten a Bellinger or a Montgomery or a Snell, and then it was fully official, or a Hader, that is fully officially all in. If they make those moves and then 3 weeks later, we got a little problem with Garrett Cole. That's not the Yankees' fault.
No, I get that. It's the combination of that happening,
bad luck.
plus they didn't go in. How about, though, last year where you're talking about, oh, well, you got to do it in the early years, take advantage of that because you know the back end of the contract is probably not going to age well.
Mm-hmm.
But if he gets hurt in year one of the contract, and I'm not blaming him, but his injury derailed their season last year. That's at age 31. This is going to be age 32, and already he's starting, not to mention Cole's thing. So what's going to happen next year? At age 33, you better hope Garrett Cole comes back and he's fully healthy. And Judge, what, is he going to be fully healthy? And it might not even be with Juan Soto next year. So you see how this window quickly we went from record-breaking year, long-term contract, to all of a sudden 2-3 years already into it have been messed up.
Well, the thing that bothers me about the injury from a year ago, and we all know about the Dodgers, right? So the year before, sets the record, gets the massive deal and complete, justification of that deal.
And could have gotten more and turned it down to come to the Yankees.
From the Giants, who finally found somebody to take their money this offseason.
Right.
They made a couple of moves here. But, so the 62 bombs all time, and Mantle, obviously, literally Maris stuff, but Mantle, Ruth, Garrick stuff.
Right.
It was just one for the ages, amazing. Now, last year, who knows? Maybe he pulls a quad in Kansas City in August. I don't know. But if he doesn't run into that antiquated setup of a wall in Dodger Stadium and he plays 150 games, which he might have, and he bangs 55 home runs and it's 62 and 55 back-to-back, and there's a lot of games played, roughly 90+% of the possible games played Judge has been in for 2 years in a row, I think I'm a little less concerned right now. And I think others are as well, but you at least have to contextualize the injury from last year. Not his fault. I mean, not his fault.
Okay, but
he was running, made a sick catch on national TV, and he ran into a concrete slab that should have been replaced in 1979.
I'm not
when they
blaming
updated
him.
the stadium.
Right, is this year his fault? Like, I'm not blaming any injuries on individuals, especially guys who keep themselves in peak physical condition. Like John Carlos saying, is his fault? He always gets hurt.
Honestly, it might be because I think
he's always in great shape.
I'll tell you why. Because I think with him, too many years he was fixated on deadlifts and getting yoked and he lost to the supple nature, the elasticity of his joints, or I should say more so his ligaments, not his joints. Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not.
I
even,
do blame Stanton a little bit.
I'm not even blaming Judge or the players when they get hurt. It just happens to happen, and with Judge, it continues to happen. It wasn't his fault last year, but he got hurt, and he's going to have to deal with that toe. They said the rest of his career he's going to have to manage that.
But what I'm saying, I hear you. But what
and they
I'm
also
saying,
have a plan to play him in center field, which doesn't, to me, seem too smart.
That doesn't seem, but you can see a lot more Grisham. You're going to have to. I hear you. I truly do. But what I'm saying is, this is, and it is what it is, but it's going to unfortunately be hijacked here. Because of the nature of the injury last year, not his fault at all, couldn't control it whatsoever. Now it's just, all right, got hurt last year. It's easy to say because he did literally, but understand why he got hurt. Again, it doesn't change anything. He's not healthy now, but it's not a continuation of what plagued him earlier. It doesn't make it better. But I feel like now it's just easy to say, it's a bad contract. Judge is always hurt. Why'd you sign him? Well, if he doesn't run into a concrete slab, he wins the MVP. Again, Yankees make the playoffs again, and he hits 55, 60 home runs again.
But that's what you thought was going to happen in year one, and it didn't. Again, he didn't play a full season, and now going into this year, it looks like he's not going to play a full season again. Now, we don't know. But obviously something's going on.
877-337-6666. To what degree, we're not sure, but we definitely have a Judge issue going into the season. Back to you calls next. BT and Sal on the Fan.